Perfect. Can you hear me?
Check. Yeah, we're good.
All right. So, Noah, thank you very much for stopping at the Thought Process podcast. It's been a long time since I've done an episode, so I appreciate you taking the time to making it down here and stuff.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you
Yeah.
having me here.
So, I think I heard about you from Cisco. I think.
Cisco. Okay, yeah, I think I met him one or two times.
Yeah,
for
I think
sure.
that's
I think
how.
he came to my studio. He was in a session or something.
Yeah, I don't even know how we started following each other.
Okay, I think I seen your post or something. I thought it was cool. You know.
Okay.
Because it's cool to see people doing stuff like this from Marin. I feel like you don't see a lot of that.
Yeah.
It's mostly just like the city and Oakland and stuff like that. But
Got it. Yeah.
cool. Represent.
Yeah. So I used to do my episodes at home at one point, and I don't really like that idea just because I don't really like people come over to my house just because you know they could like. I was so what's the word I'm looking for? It's I guess one of my complexes, right? I didn't want people to like think of me a certain way just because my house probably smelled a certain way or you know whatever. I was just like so conscious about that. I'm like, I must stop doing podcasts.
You're good. My house smell like weed, so you're good.
Yeah, so that's why I opened my candle shop here and the space is way too big. So I'm like, let me try to improvise and use the space.
Yeah.
By doing the podcast and stuff. So where are you from? Are you originally from Marin County?
Yeah,
or?
I grew up in Fairfax, so West Marin. I grew up Fairfax, kind of the valley too. If you know the valley, it's like Forest, Knowles, Lagunitas area.
Okay,
San Geronimo, you know.
Are you still a local, or did you move out?
Yeah. I live in like Fairfax area.
Okay,
so I work in Richmond, so I help. I manage and I engineer at a studio called the Shop Studios in Richmond. So I'm out there most of the days. I'm out there, and then coming back to Marin to sleep, get ready, and go back.
Yeah. So that's what I was. One of the questions I wanted to ask you about the shop. How did you get associated with them, and what is it you really do? Because I know that you're an artist and an engineer.
Yeah. I was working in the cannabis industry in the city, and I was doing a lot of networking and marketing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so through connections and stuff like that, I just met people through that job, and it long story short, it just took me I had been making music for a long time. I've made music my whole life. I was in bands, and I was singing in bands from when I was like probably 6 years old to like 18, and then when I was like 12, 13, I started like making beats and rapping and all that. And so, the older you get, life kind of. I dropped a bunch of music when I was in high school. I was in Marin School of the Arts and stuff like that for rock band, and I did a lot of stuff for that. But when you get older, you got different responsibilities, and so life kind of trade off things that you want for other things you want and stuff like that. And I feel like I had been at a point where I was like, I hadn't seen nothing from music happen at all. I was getting frustrated. I was feeling kind of jaded, and like I was in a relationship for a really long time at that point, and it was just like I'm paying my rent. I was doing a bunch of stuff, just like normal family man stuff, and life changes and shifts, and then music kind of came back into the picture. I was boxing for a long time, and then 2020 hit, and so it was kind of like COVID and all that kind of ruined that, and then probably 2022, 23, I started working for the dispensaries and stuff like that, and it was probably like 2021, 2020. And music kind of just made its way back through the cannabis culture, and so it just it worked out for sure.
Okay, what high school did he go to, and how was that as being a musician in high school, right? Like, because you're young, you're motivated. How was that like?
I went to Marin School of the Arts at Novato High School, and so that was why I went in there, was for music. Like I had been asked to audition by like the rock band director and stuff like that. Rian, she was super cool, and that was my goal from when I was a kid, was to be in music regardless of what it was. And so it's cool to see it, it circled back and it came back like it was supposed to. And like when I was in my hardest time, at my lowest, it came back and it was still there for me. You know what I mean? So I think that, uh, yeah, I mean, music has always been around for me. It was just more so of like, I don't know. You can cut that part, but you know what I mean? I'm trying to think about how to put it into words. It's hard to put it into words because I feel like uh, I had like stopped making. I didn't stop making music, but I wasn't really like I said, I was focused on other things. But I had been doing that my whole life. So when you lose what you feel like is everything to you, that's the one thing that was still there. You know what I mean? And I feel like from like a very young age I was doing it, so it was kind of like just one of those things I always did.
So how were you influenced into music? Were your parents musicians? Did you just how did you like music since
I
you
would
were a little
say,
kid?
man, my parents are hippies, so they're really into the Grateful Dead and stuff like that, and they always had like they had Rage Against the Machine playing when I was a kid, so they're
Mm-hmm.
super, they're super progressive and activists. You know what I mean? So the first band I was ever into was Green Day, and then like Rage Against the Machine and stuff like that. So I was super into like political kind of like uh more I don't know how to explain it, but more political music I was into growing up. So
Do you play any instruments?
like I said, I was in Marin School of Arts, so I dabbled around a lot with a bunch of stuff. Um, I make beats here and there. When I started like rapping and singing my own music, like
Mm-hmm.
outside of the band, when I was like 12, 13, I started making beats. So 26 now, man. I've been working in a recording studio, managing it, and here and there I'll make beats and sell them and stuff. But really, like my artistry is what I'm focused on right now. Artistry and then work as far as like engineering goes, is like that's my job. That's my everyday job. But it
Mm-hmm.
couldn't be better than that. I feel like I'm getting paid to help people make music. So
So I checked out the shop studio page, and
yeah,
there's a lot of big names on the what's it called description.
yep, yep.
Have
Yeah,
you met
it's
any of those people? Or
oh
have you
yeah,
worked with them? Like,
for
what
sure.
have you done for them? If you could talk
Yeah,
about
I've
that.
I don't want to like name exact artists, but like I've done a lot of I've recorded for some big artists for sure, and it's cool because there's like artists that like I'm making music with now, like Cool John for example, from Richmond. He's huge, you know what I mean? Like growing up, I like I blew out my subwoofer listening to Cool John, and then it turns out like that song I blew out my subwoofer, Blue Hunted, that was recorded in the same studio in the room I always work in. So it's kind of like it's crazy when there's little things like that come around, and you're like, damn. And now I got like me and John got like 3, 4 good, real solid songs right now that I'm on with him. So
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy to me. You know what I mean? Like full circle moments, and then you know all types of artists that I work with. So
So you're an artist and an engineer.
yeah,
How do how do you differentiate both of those? Because it's two different
yeah.
jobs, right? Or two different
I would say, I mean, work is work, but I love what I do for work. So
Mhm.
engineering is an outlet for me to be able to eat and get gas and make money, but it's also something I like doing. So I worked a bunch of jobs. I worked in a warehouse, I worked for dispensaries, I worked for pizza places. I did all kinds of stuff. And like if you ask my friends that know me, they know I got a resume. But yeah, man, I feel like it's differentiating it is kind of it can be a struggle, but it's also just how you look at it and how you organize. And I feel like since I've been more organized with my artist stuff, I think it makes being able to engineer as a job way easier and more it's more rewarding. You know what I mean? If I'm doing my stuff, helping other people make their stuff, that just kind of works out. So
Mhm.
I feel like putting my energy into music is what I'm supposed to be doing regardless.
Got it.
Yeah.
So how do you get paid for? I mean, you don't have to go into
No,
specifics,
yeah,
but
yeah,
how does that work? When you engineer a project, do you get paid per session, per project? How does that work?
yeah. So generally, it's per session by the hour.
Mm.
So people will hit me up. Usually, it tends to be late night always. So I'm shifting my schedule a little bit for anyone who's watching. I'm trying to make sure I get some sleep. So early sessions are best. But what was the question again?
What was the question?
We can cut that.
Oh yeah. Sorry. How do you get paid? Like,
Oh
is it
yeah,
per
yeah, yeah, yeah.
session, or you were saying it was per
So
hour,
yeah,
right?
so per hour is how I do it, and I have a deal with the studio, so I pay them a certain percentage of that hour, and then
Mm.
it's yeah, it's hard to answer that question because I don't want to speak on it too much, but
Yeah. We could move
we
on.
can
I was
cut
just
that
kind
out.
of trying to figure out
No,
how
yeah,
that
yeah.
works and stuff. So what's the latest, like the longest project you've worked on? You
I
said you work a night sometimes. Like, so
oh yeah, yeah.
how does that work? Is it like a couple hours? Is it like
I mean, I
to
did a
like
6
3 a.m.?
hour. I did 6 hours yesterday in one session, and that
Wow.
was like 3 songs. But
Mm-hmm.
so that's like average. On average, like I do a 2 hour minimum. Most people do that 2 hours, and then they'll maybe extend. Um, like generally, it's like 2 to 3 hours on average. I'd say.
Do you mind
Yeah, yeah.
getting
My
the
bad.
mic a little bit closer to you?
Put these on.
All good. Um, have you had any incidents with any artists where they're not satisfied with the session, and then how does that work? Like, do you have to like,
Nah, I'm
you
good
know,
at what I do. I'm
really?
confident in that. I have my issues with self confidence and we all have our self doubt issues, but I think with what I do, I'm pretty good and I'm pretty confident in that.
Mm-hmm.
You could always grow. You could always be better too. I know there's many things. There's always new plugins being made, and so like when you might think you know everything, and then there's a new plugin, and it might do everything you thought you knew in one click. So
Mm-hmm.
it's all about just evolving and growing when you're doing it. That's why I tell my interns and stuff
Did you
like
go to
that.
school for this? Or is it all like learning as you go?
So like as I said, I made music since I was a kid. When I was probably like 12, 13, I started making beats and recording myself. Even before that, when I was like real young and probably like 6 to that age, I was in bands even before my main band that I was in high school and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So uh yeah, man.
What year did you graduate?
2018.
2018. Okay, okay, that's cool. Um, I when you were in a band, what is it that you did exactly? Did you
I was just a singer, man. I've been a
singer?
vocalist
Okay,
forever.
okay,
So that's always what I did.
okay.
And yeah, like I like have interest in playing. Like I play a little bit of piano. I'm not the best. I could fake it a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
as far as like I can make beats, I could do that stuff, but I'm not a shredder on guitar or anything like
Got
that.
it, got it. Yeah, I've always enjoyed music. I just never stuck to any instrument. I try to play or learn the trumpet,
Yeah.
the violin at one point, the saxophone. But I never really stuck to an instrument. So
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how to play anything. I just started learning the guitar like what, a month ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I gotta like stick to it. I really want to like learn.
Your hands hurting yet?
Yeah,
The
my
calluses and stuff?
form,
Oh,
my
that
form.
right there
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
yeah.
Now I've done a lot of lessons for stuff like that, and so it's like just like being around it in school and like growing up, I was around a lot of that. So um,
Mic check. Oh, there you go.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, what's wrong with my mic? All right, sorry about that. Yeah. So I do want to stick to learning the guitar. We'll see if I actually learn it. But yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed music as well, but I've never like stuck to anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I do regret it because I'm pretty old now, and I'm like, dude, like, I wish I could have like stuck to something.
It's never too late though. That's the thing. Once
Yeah.
you think like I was saying, I was at my lowest. I was like, I'm done. Like this shit ain't got me anywhere. I haven't gotten no views. I mean, SoundCloud era was cool. I got I was like I would get views on my music. I get streams, but I feel like it's never too late when you want to do music. Music's always gonna be around for us. So
Yeah. So when you were in your lowest, you stopped making music, or did you give yourself a break?
I feel like I had been so focused on like paying rent and like building the family I thought I was building and stuff like that, and working and all that. Yeah, I mean, say it one more time. My bad. I'm like, my train of thought is not.
I'll
Yeah,
get
yeah.
all good. I was just asking. So when you were in your lowest, did you start making music?
Yeah.
Um.
Um, I was like I said, I've been working for a long time and just kind of like making stuff, and I didn't really see anything come from it. And
Mm-hmm.
when you kind of like let it fizzle out, you let your mental health go, you let all that stuff kind of go, and then you fall to your lowest. Like I said, that's the one thing that's still there. And so obviously, I had nothing to do. I was bored. I lost both my jobs, lost my girl, eventually lost the house I was renting out and stuff. And so
Mm-hmm.
like that was really all I had. I'd be at home, hella depressed, and at the time I was like taking hella pills and like trying to just numb myself and not feel that pain that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And so music was the one thing that when I would do that or when I would be in that space of like dead ass crying, like you know what I mean, just like in the worst place, like we don't got to get too deep into it, but like really dark place, like really having those suicidal thoughts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like music was the one thing I could run to that would distract me and other than the common thing, which is drugs. And that's the problem is when people don't have music or something to outlet into, and they're doing drugs, and there's
Mm-hmm.
you get lost in that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a couple of guys that I went to school with. I followed them on social media, and there's points where they're like, they feel motivated, and motivation it's temporary, right? It's not, it's if you're not disciplined, like motivation will come and go, right?
Yeah,
So I do see those patterns where people feel motivated and start releasing all this, music and singles and all this stuff, and then there's times where you don't hear from them because
yeah,
motivation's gone, and
yeah.
they feel like they're stuck or
They see
whatever,
it
right?
plateau and it
Yeah.
doesn't go anywhere. That's the thing. I feel like I've been I've been at this point where like it's almost an addiction to make music for me. So like if I'm in there and I'm like not getting something done, I start to kind of lose my mind a little bit. I don't like sitting around. I don't like wasting time. If I'm not making a song, I want to work on making a video. I want to work on making cover art or something like that. You know what I mean? Because there's always something that could be done, especially when there's like thousands of people making music. They want to be rappers. They want to be singers. They want to do, you know, there's 1,000 content creators now that are out here, and we got to push extra hard, even if we are dope.
Hmm.
You could get completely overlooked.
So how do you differentiate yourself from new artists, or those thousands of artists that release music every day and stuff? Like how do you try to like stay on top of that?
I mean, there's always someone working when you're not working. That's how I thought about it. That's
Mm-hmm.
that Tom Brady mentality. I feel like if you when you're sleeping, someone's working. That's really all there is to it. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like if you're slacking off and you feel like you're all this or you're like better than other people, what are you doing that's like putting you like you're saying like what separates you as an artist? Like that's what I feel like we all are trying to figure that out right now. A lot of people, a lot of artists are trying to figure that out, and I think I'm blessed to have a place like the shop where I can kind of like I have guidance and I have people around me to be like, yo, that sucks, or like, yo, that's dope as fuck. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't have that. They like, and I think that's part of why I fizzled out when I was in high school and I was 18, getting a little older to like 21 is because I'm in my room DIY setup for like 10 years doing that, and I didn't have no one to really like I wasn't really growing. The ceiling was right there. I'm in my bedroom making beats and rapping over my beats or singing over my beats, and I wasn't around nobody better than me. So I feel like if you're with my community I have and my network I have at the studio, it completely changed my outlook and my game on all this. 'Cause I like my work ethic, everything.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like some people are hella talented and they like it's like sports. Like for example, for me as an athlete too, when I was playing sports, I played football growing up, and I boxed for a while, and like I'm a small dude, you know what I mean? I'm not like physically super gifted, and so I always had to work harder and put in more time if I wanted to be better, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? And
Yeah.
so like that's kind of my same mentality with music. Like if I can't slack off because if I do, I'm like time is ticking right now too. I'm
Yeah.
26. Like my plan, my plan was to be, you know, further than I am right now. But I think it's just like all about being, uh, just having faith in like the process. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like I could sit here and be like, I don't have like a million streams or I don't have a million followers, but I am doing things that I didn't think I would like that I wanted to do so bad as a kid when I was 15, 16, starting to make beats, starting to rap, starting to record myself and sing and all that. Like I'm working with people that I set goals to work with. So it's like you got to remind yourself sometimes like them little things count. Them
Mm-hmm.
little things are big deals.
Yeah. So when you are in at the shop studio and this big artist comes and then like they give you their criticism, right? Like, oh, this is kind of trash. Like, how do you take that? How do you stay on that mindset where like this isn't gonna affect me? I'm use this to better myself. Like,
Yeah.
how does that work for you? Like,
I feel like that's just seeing like no one's gonna come up to you and like they really got to be a dick to come up to you like, yo, this is trash,
yeah,
bro. But you know the signs. You know when
Mhm.
someone's not like, you know what I mean? Someone's not like you could read body language. If someone
yeah,
doesn't like it, I feel like awareness is the biggest thing I gained from like being at the studio. Is
Mm.
like if I'm in there and I'm like a lot of the time what I'll do is I'll punch in bar per bar and I just go off top like freestyle, and I've got really good at that process, but um, I think that it's just like the awareness of like being like, okay, after 8 bars, if I don't like this, or after 4 bars even, if I don't like what I'm making and I'm not having fun doing it, and I'm like sweating and I'm just like, fuck this, I'm like annoyed, I'm getting hella frustrated and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably just put it aside. I'll leave it. I'll come back to it, or I'll just I make so many songs. I got a whole my whole the little files icon on your iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing is filled up, and
Really?
it's running out of space, so it's deleting shit
Oh.
too. But like I got songs for days. I got too much music right
So do you remember your first song that you ever released?
now. Man,
What year was that? And
Well, are we
looking
talking?
back at it, like, what do you think of your own performance or your own song?
Are we talking about like the rock band stuff, or are we talking about my own?
Your own thing, like, yeah.
I feel like I had a song. I had a song called "Hate Bitch Hate." You could tell, my mouth ain't changed. I like, I'm still cussing the same as I was when I was 13 or whatever. But,
Mhm.
yeah, that was a song. I put out that song when I was probably 13 or 14. That was hella funny.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I think I had put it out under some stupid name, deleted it, put another one out under another name, deleted it, and then I just went under my regular name. You know what I mean? So, it's been since I was a kid. I have my if I go on my SoundCloud, I could find the first song I ever dropped on
Mm.
there as Noah. You know what I mean? Just as me. So
How did you come up with your name, NoahThaMack? Like,
man, I
what's that
hate
about?
that question. Everybody be asking me that and pressing me about
Really?
it too. Yeah, they're like, "You ain't no Mac, bro." I'm like, "All right, bro. All right." Yeah. That keep them guessing, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, some people, like, I know people use the, like, what are those things called, like name generator and stuff,
Nah, hell nah. We all
Oh,
we all messed with that when we were kids, though. I'm
okay.
sure. I feel like when we were trying to come up with the band names and stuff like that
Yeah,
as
yeah,
kids, we all used that. But
yeah.
nah, that was just something I don't even remember. I damn near don't even want to talk about that.
All
I'm
right,
not gonna lie. We
I'll
can
get.
just cut that out.
So you don't want to talk about that? Let's see. Had another question and I forgot it. So your newest song, remind me the name of it.
Following the light.
What's that about? How did that come about?
So that's kind of like it. Kind of sums up. I feel like what I was talking about as far as like being at the bottom and like being as low as you've ever been, and like that light. Like it's not really like some. It sounds kind of religious. I'm not really religious like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's more just like when you see like something that can lead you out of that hole or that dark place that I was in. That was the music for me. So I was following the light, and it's like kind of ironic. Like in that little video, it's like the computer. The way I think about it is like the computer is the light. Like
Mhm.
that's the music coming from there is the light, and I'm just following that.
Got it. Got
The
it.
shop studios is the light, So that that saved my life. The shop saved my life. The people that put me on there and you know, helped me work my way up. That that was like the biggest change in my life I needed.
And how long have you been at the shop studio?
It's been 3 years almost
3 years.
now, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So I did check your Spotify, and you have a lot of songs. What would be a genre? Like, what genre do you think you fit in?
Probably R&B, but like I don't like when people call me a rapper because I don't
Hmm.
feel like I could rap for sure. I've rapped since I teach people how to rap. You know what I mean? But um, I feel like could you rephrase it one more time? My bad.
I was just asking, like, what genre do you think
These be
you
throwing me off.
fit in? What's
Oh
up?
yeah, yeah. It's the headphones kind of throw me off when I
Yeah,
put them on.
you
My
could take them
bad.
off. Yeah, I mean,
I get
we could do it
distracted because
without.
that delay.
Yeah, we could do it without headphones.
My bad.
That's
But
totally
yeah,
fine.
I would say R&B. I grew up on a lot of different music. I listen to funk, I listen to hip hop, I listen to like old heavy metal, I listen to rock, I listen to alternative,
Hmm.
I listen to a lot of stuff. I listen to reggae. Um, I'm around a lot of Latin music in the studio. So that's been really cool to see a lot of that and just be around it. I worked with some Latin artists and stuff, so that's been cool. It's been very interesting for me.
Okay. And when you are working on your projects, for example, the artwork, do you do all that yourself, or do you get people
I have
to
a few
help
people.
you out with
Yeah,
that?
I got a few people that I'm like very close with. You know that helped me along this process, and so
Hmm.
you know it's always hard to try and get budgeting for it because it's we're all everyone's trying to make something, and so it's like it's always good to invest in it. But
Yeah. So do you, like, let's say you're gonna need an artwork for your next project, right? Like,
yeah,
do
yeah,
you pay for that, or like do you guys do collaborations? Like, hey, do my artwork, and then I'll do some work for you. Like, how does that work
yeah.
for
I
you? Like, do
mean,
you have to pay for your stuff,
if it's
or?
people if I'm really like most of the people I work with, I'm really locked in with. So
Hmm.
it's like that's really fam or that's part of like the team at the studio. So we have a lot of resources there,
Mm.
and as far as like if people as an engineer, my job, like I really look at it as making it like it's called the shop. I want to make it a one-stop shop. So if they come in there and they do a session and they do 2 songs, I want to make it so I have my cover art dude, I have my video dude. They could come in on call and be like they can make that for a good value or a good price. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And it's streamlined. So they leave with a cover, they leave with a mix, they leave with all that.
Hmm.
I think it's just the network I built, and then the network that came with the shop studios.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So do you have any projects that you're working on at the moment, or?
I was like on my like I said, I got a ton of songs right now. So really, I'm trying to just get the old stuff that I really like out because there's stuff that I didn't drop soon enough that I feel
Hmm.
like should have been out months ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a plan in the summer to drop an album, and I cat it off on that. I didn't want to do it anymore because I felt like it was a better idea to just keep dropping singles and build that up and build up that momentum and consistency, and then drop something when I get more streams and when people are really paying attention. So
Hmm.
I think that'll be very soon.
Okay. So what is the difference between a single and an album?
A
Do
single,
you do that yourself? Could you drop a whole album yourself, or do you
yeah,
need to get a label? How does that work?
yeah. I mean, like most people are doing it independent right now through
Hmm.
DistroKid or United Masters and stuff like that. As far as dropping an album, it's pretty much like the same as when I was in high school, putting it on SoundCloud, and I got like 4 or 5 on there
Hmm.
when I was a kid. So, like I've done all that. It's really just putting in. It's like I don't want to drop 6, 7, 8 songs on a project that I really love, and then there's a trend. It's like a very common thing that when you drop an album, you'll have like more views on that first song, and the more like the song list as it goes down, the streams kind of go down
Hmm.
because if they're not like engaged, you don't have those big fans, you don't have that fan base yet. where's your audience? You know what I mean? Like so that's really what I'm trying to establish right now is a new audience. And I know I have the music. It's just really about getting it heard, and that's the hardest part.
I was just gonna ask you
Yeah.
like, what are you doing to get there? Because that's one thing is like having the idea and like what you want to accomplish, but the hard part is executing, right? So what are your plans to execute that?
I think right now, one of the big things is like investing in ads, and I really never wanted to do that, but I think that's just kind of how the whole industry is now,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't been investing too much in them because I feel like it's like the return isn't much. You get views, but it's like if you don't put in $1,000, it's not gonna get as like you're not gonna hit 1 million streams if you don't put in $1,000 to an ad or something like
Yeah.
that. So
Mm-hmm.
bouncing that and trying to eat and trying to make sure I'm paying rent and you know all good is really that's the hardest part is trying to get people to hear this stuff and do it in a way where you're not I was trying to figure out what that was.
Yeah, I don't know
I
what
thought
that
it
is.
was an alarm or something.
I don't know.
um but yeah, man, just I think just getting heard is the hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the biggest challenge out of everything is just like showing people the music. And when I show people my music, they're like, "This is you." Like they're surprised. Like they don't even
Mm-hmm.
they're caught off guard when I show them my stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm proud of that. I'm proud that people don't expect it. But
Mm-hmm.
it would be you know this year is definitely this next year and this year is like the year I'm gonna be working on getting it heard
Mm-hmm.
because I've made the music for 3 years. I've been sitting here making music that I feel like is up there, it's industry standard, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and now's the time. I'm foot on the gas right now, so I'm trying to aim for like a new song dropping every week, every 2 weeks, kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Got it. So, your next projects or coming up projects, is it just you, or do you have features? What are your plans like on that?
As far as projects, I got a lot of music with my homie AO Abe. He's super dope, and we're working on. We got like damn near 20 songs together right now, and they're all good. Like we've sat in the studio and kind of went through them all a couple times and like narrowed down. But like I don't think there's anything that doesn't slap on there. So I'm super juiced about that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, I feel like the stuff that I have out right now, it doesn't really like represent me as the artist as well as like the stuff that I have in the vault. And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
really like I gotta get this stuff out. I got music with Cool John coming out soon. So that I'm hoping does some numbers. I'm pretty sure that will because he's doing great right now. And so like I'm just trying to stay consistent.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing.
So with Cool John, as far as like followers and engagement, like how's he doing? Is he like?
He
Does he?
has a song right now that's viral with Pilo. It's called Mardi Gras, and so that's going up right now. And like Michelle Obama did the little TikTok dance. To
Really?
it. Yeah, she did the TikTok dance to it the other day. They had the Olympics posted, so it's cool. It's cool to be working with someone I grew up with that, like I grew up listening to like that.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm proud to see that because I'm working with him now. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, I'm working with someone like that's contagious. When someone you working with or like someone you're homies with is doing good and being heard, like that's a good feeling to see your people winning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Especially people that like believed in you and gave you a chance when you were kind of a fan. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like I grew up listening to HBK and Smart Life and all them dudes. So
Mm-hmm.
being able to be on songs with them is cool, man. Like Dave Steezy. Steezy's one of the first people I worked with at the Shop Studios. So shout out Dave Steezy, man. He was a big part of me getting connected there.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Um, could you name like one of the biggest artists you've kind of worked with and stuff, or could you not talk about that?
I'd say Cool John's one of the biggest
Mm-hmm.
artists I worked with for
Mm-hmm.
sure. There's a lot. There's a lot I don't want to name because it's you want to keep it on the low. You don't
Yeah.
want to blow up the
Yeah,
spot.
I
You
agree.
don't want to make it so they don't
Yeah.
feel comfortable coming back. But yeah, I worked
Exactly.
with. I mean, every once in a while there'll be a session and like there'll be a feature or something. And there's a big artist that comes in and I'm like, oh shit, like. But a lot of the time it's like I don't even know who it is because I'm not super like I still listen to reggae and rock and older music and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's like I rarely listen to new music and like I listen to old Bay Area music for the most part or like my generation like the hyphy movement or like John or like I Am Sue or people like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of I'm educating myself on the local scene a little bit more as I'm working in it. So it's a weird perspective to have, you know.
Mm-hmm.
People be like, oh, you worked with this dude. I'm like, oh, I guess yeah. I didn't know. Like, I guess he is big. The fuck,
Yeah.
like that's crazy.
Yeah. So based on your age and your career, are you satisfied where you are right now, or do you think you could have done better to like be at a different stage? Like,
Yeah, I feel
how,
like
how do you?
there's always there's always room for growth, and I feel like I'm always gonna want more than what I have. If I have 1 million streams, I'm gonna want 5 million streams.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like I'm always like that. I'm always kind of like that Tom Brady effect of him. Like they asked Tom Brady, they go like, "What's your favorite ring you got?" And he's like, "The next one." So like that's kind of my mentality on just like where I'm at. I know, like I said, I wanted to be bigger than what I am at this age, but I
Mm-hmm.
know that it takes time, and you know, this is the most I've been locked in, and like this is my job, this is my life, this is more than a job. It's like every single day, this is what I think about, this is what I stress about, getting this music out, getting it heard, you know, um, making sure the studio is running smoothly. That's part of my job as manager there, and so
Mm-hmm.
like you know, bringing in people that like new engineers or interns and stuff like that, or you know, just making sure everything's cool over there when the owners aren't there, stuff like that, you know. Um, and that's home, so it's not hard. It's not like it doesn't feel like a job to be like making sure everything's straight over there.
Mm-hmm.
That's like I'm there more than my house, so
Yeah.
yeah.
How big is the studio? Is it like a lot
We
of
got
employees or?
yeah. I mean, right now we're kind of like at a point where we got like a few engineers, including me, that are booking and uh, they're we're just trying to build up that consistency and
Mm-hmm.
momentum with clientele. And you know, like if I have clients and I see one of my homies who's an engineer who works there and they're not getting clients, I'm like that's part of having that network and that community is we can like be like, look, this worked for me, bruh. Go hit up some people on IG or go you know, like go to an event and meet people and be like, yo, I got you on like a free hour for your first session. Um, Stuff like that. I feel like that's why it's important to have a community around you and do
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Um. So how is the shop? Like, I'm just trying to like envision it. Like, do you have
Visualize it.
like different booths? How many booths, or how does
Yeah,
that?
so it's 3 rooms.
Uh huh.
It's a big. It used to be a 7-Eleven back in the
Oh
day, and then it
damn.
was a body shop, like an
Mm.
auto shop. And so you know we even do wraps and tints out on the garage in the front, and
Mm-hmm.
so that's going right now. If anyone needs wraps or tints, tap in. Um, they're doing that, and then we got the green room, the red room, and then we have the owner's room. And so we're working on some renovations in our green room right now.
Mm.
Uh, we're working on renovations on the green room, and then our red room is pretty locked in right now. And then the owner's room is just newly renovated, so that's looking super nice. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're just another day in the life. That's how
Mm-hmm.
it is. So we're just trying to keep the motion going.
How many sessions could you like do in a day? Like, does it depend
I
on
mean, as many hours there in a day, but
really?
like at the same time, I live in Marin and I work in Richmond, so it's like I like to gauge
How's
like
the traffic for you, dude?
it's not terrible.
Do you against it, or
Um
do you always get traffic?
if I time it right,
Really?
I don't go at 4. Like I try not to go at 4 because then I'm
Mm.
just locked in on the
Yeah.
bridge. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not a bad commute at all. Santa Fe to Richmond is just like one city over, so
Yeah, I used to live in Richmond for a couple of years,
Oh yeah.
and I used to work here, so I would always get stuck in traffic
Mm.
coming from Richmond to Marin,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
at 9,
Oh
8
yeah,
a.m.
nah.
Yeah,
See,
I was
my
like, oh
hours are
damn.
late, so
Yeah,
like if
okay.
it'll be like I could be there. I'll be there early, like 11 or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. But it's like I could be there till 3 a.m., 4 a.m. sometimes if I'm booked out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I gotta wake up the next day if there's a session. So
Yeah.
it's a hustle for sure. It's an everyday hustle. It's not like there's walk-ins, So I gotta find my clients. I gotta keep good relationships with my clients, and that chemistry is like very necessary when you're
Mm-hmm.
pushing someone in. And like you're really trying to help them create their vision as an engineer. So that's a big deal. I feel like people don't realize how much an engineer like matters. Like if you have an engineer that's sitting there and just punching you in and not saying anything, not giving you feedback, they're not like interested in the process. You probably want to find a new engineer. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because there's plenty out there that are enthusiastic and love this shit and are very like are attentive and want to make your song the best song they can. So
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I feel like having a relationship and chemistry with your clients is big, especially if they're big artists too. Because you want like if someone's doing numbers, you want to make sure that their songs are good. Like I have songs that I've like engineered or mixed recently where I'm like, oh damn, this already got 10K,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not like I'm not like super into that specific scene maybe, and I'm like, oh damn, I didn't realize how big this dude was. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I gotta really lock in now when I'm working with Brad. Um, but yeah, just
So just to be clear, you have to go out and kind of like look for people that want to work with you, or
yeah. I mean,
okay.
that's part of my life, and I
Uh
make
huh.
that part of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Really, like if I get in a conversation with someone at the bar, like it's it's pretty likely that we're gonna get into talking about like where what I do and like you know what I mean. Like if you're passionate about something, it's not hard to like sell it or push it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? If you believe in your craft and you believe in what you're doing and the product you're selling, I don't think it's hard to do that. It's not
Mm-hmm.
hard to like promote.
Mm. Yeah, when I used to bartend, and I saw a lot of that. You just see couples walk in and they're having a good time and stuff.
Yeah,
But then you start to see them networking, right? And
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah,
you get to know these people, and like they get to like work together on whatever project they're working on or whatever they're doing, right?
yeah,
But it's just cool to see and how unique it is to be outgoing, be have some sort of charisma. So people could like engage with you, and then like that's how you make connections and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
The bar is interesting. I worked at a bar too. I worked
Mm.
at Silver Peso for a minute in Larkspur.
Oh, I used to go there
Yeah, I was
back in my
bouncing,
day.
so it was like
Okay,
it was.
you were a bouncer.
Yeah, I was bouncing. That's what they all said. You a bouncer? You a bouncer? I'm like, yeah, I'm the
Uh,
bouncer. I'm gonna be carrying you out when you too damn drunk to walk. Like, but yeah, that was an interesting job for sure. But I feel like that's a dark place. Like bars are not something that you want to like get locked into. That's what I realized. Is like
Mhm.
when I was like I go here and there, I'll go to the bar and stuff. But I've gotten into shit with people. I've gotten into fights at the bar, and like it's not something. Um, Especially it's like someone who boxed for a while. Like I sparred 3 days a week, trained 6 days a week when I was fighting and stuff. So
Mhm.
like when you in the ring, boxing and sparring, and you've done that before, it makes you want to do it a lot less in public, and you know
Mhm.
what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like the bars are just kind of they could be cool. I don't even drink when I go to bars. Like I don't drink anymore. I stopped
Mhm.
drinking because it puts me in a negative place. And like
Yeah.
it's not even when I'm drunk. When I'm drunk, I'm fun. I'm the crazy Irishman when I'm drunk. But like when it's like the next day or the week after, I feel like I get a real dark like depressive feeling from
Mhm.
that. So I try and go and just network and have fun, smoke some weed, and that's it, pretty much.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
So, when you were boxing, how was that? Like, did you stop? What? Why did you stop? Or are you still boxing?
I really want to start. Yeah, I gotta get back on the boat because I've just been locked in the studio for like 3 years now, where I've just been not not working out, not training, not really being as health conscious as I was for all that
Mm-hmm.
time. And like that's I feel like that's important. I feel like when my mind is like, if I get down, like I'm saying, it's like, damn, maybe I just need to work out. Like that's probably the one thing I'm not doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, hopefully, man, I really hope soon I can start boxing again. But it's all about juggling the little things and
Yeah, I mean it's hard. It's either you're working or you have other stuff going on. And it's just sometimes you can't really. You don't have enough hours in the day to do
right,
what you want to do. You know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. I think just music right now is I'm too locked in to really put my eggs in any other basket right now. And I
Yeah.
feel like if like there's other people working when I'm not working, then I sit here and I go and box at a gym during the day when I'm supposed to be like riding or recording or doing something that is productive. Like I'm just kind of like separating my time when I should be focused on one thing. But then again, it's like working out is necessary and like
Mm-hmm.
you know it's just juggling stuff, juggling the little juggling the things in life that we gotta keep up on.
True. 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 Do you have like a nine to five job, or is the studio
That's the
all you got?
studio. I
Really?
manage the studio. I do
Okay.
sessions every day if I can. Yeah, I don't think I have it any other way at this point. I don't think I could ever go back to having like a normal job because I've done that so many times, and I
Mm-hmm.
know like it's just not what I want. Like, I'm too damn creative for that. I don't think that if I sit there in an office building and like and or a warehouse or something like I had done before, like that's not gonna feel rewarding. I felt that feeling. I'm like remember being in the warehouse working and like folding up boxes for some like the little POS systems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like worked for one of those companies, and I'm folding up like cardboard boxes, and I'm hearing like songs I used to play with my band and stuff on the radio. They're playing, and I'm getting all like, damn, bro, what am I doing here? What am I just wasting all that stuff I learned when I was a kid, all that
Mm-hmm.
like time I put in music and stuff, and I'm just sitting here in a warehouse not
Mm-hmm.
making any music. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I felt that was something I knew I didn't want to do really fast, and
Mm-hmm.
I was blessed enough for the studio and working it there at the studio to like come into my life. I feel like I made it happen. I pushed it. I did my internship. I paid for the internship like a lot of people do, and so um, I just really like dove in fully. I felt like I hadn't really in high school. It's easy to like sit there and be like, I'm a rapper. I'm gonna make all this music when I get
Mm-hmm.
off school or whatever, and while I'm in class or whatever, and then drop it, and it's cool because everyone in your class will see you. But when you're after all that, when you're not in college or high school, you don't have that built-in audience as much, and so like that's really like it's hard to keep consistent
Mm-hmm.
and like if you're not getting numbers, it's hard to keep consistent because you're like, what am I doing this for? But
Yeah.
I think it's like little things come into your life and remind you like why you're doing it for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Were your parents supportive with your decision on pursuing music?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. My parents have always been supportive. Like those are uh, those are the two people who've always been there to like at my shows when I was a kid, or drive me to the shows, or even help email venues or whatever. My mom really taught me that hustle of like she's a photographer. She's pretty well known in Marin and stuff for
Mm-hmm.
photography and stuff. And so like she taught me that hustle and like you know what me and my mom do isn't necessarily a necessity, but it's not like a doctor or like something that people are like gonna die if they don't get it, or a car or a mechanic or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So she taught me that really like you gotta believe in what you're doing and you gotta hustle and put yourself out there. And like she taught me that with my band when I was growing up. I see her do it today. You know what I mean? Like she's still working and you know well respected in what she does because she's
Mm-hmm.
been doing it so consistently for so long. So definitely like I think I got that hustle from my mom and then my work ethic from my dad. My dad's a electrician and came from Ireland when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, 7 kids in his family, was in the army, the Coast Guard, and and came to California from Boston area when he was like getting out of the Coast Guard and stuff, and completely switched it around, became a hippie and all that. And so like,
Mhm.
just I feel um, like my dad really grew up like working hard, and like that's the Irish mentality, is like you work and you help with the family and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
so I've always seen my dad working his ass off, and like that's one of my biggest motivations, is like get my dad and my mom out of working, like let them just chill and retire now, because I'm tired of seeing them work. I
Mhm.
know they're tired of working, and it's just hard to see that, you know what I mean? When you're like getting older and your parents are still working, you're like, fuck. Like that's when I think about like, oh, I'm like not happy where I want to be, because I'm like,
Mhm.
my parents aren't. They're still working. My dad's still doing contractor work, and he's like in his 60s. So
Mhm.
that's like for sure one of the things that like I'd say motivates me, as far as like on a stress frustration level. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I get really frustrated that I'm not where I want to be, but we all have our own path and pace, and so they
Mhm.
know that, and I'm very blessed to have parents that have always been like super involved in like my creative little avenues and stuff like that. And so
Mhm.
like um I feel like I gotta do something with it, or else it's just like I want to make my parents proud, like anyone, you know.
Mhm.
I feel like that's one of the things that gets me frustrated, is like, man, I can't, like, I'm not like, I'm sure they're proud that I'm following my dream, but I'd love to see them smiling because I hand them $1 million, you know what I mean, or
Mhm.
buy them a new car or a house. Like that's the kind of stuff I want from this. But
Mhm.
aside from like relating people relating to my music on when they're in their low space, because that's really a lot of my music is it's like pain shit. It's like soulful stuff that I really mean from my heart, where I'm in a dark place, and I'm the only way to explain it or talk about it or put it into writing is going in the booth and writing it, like punching in or writing a song about it. And that's the only way to really, like, for me, I feel like that's the only way to really like show people that emotion, or show them what I'm feeling, is like making a song, and then they can hear that, and like if I did it right, it makes them feel some type of way, so
Mhm.
like that's a big drive for me.
Got it. Got it. Got it. And as far as the music that you put out and stuff, where do you see the most feedback or engagement? Is it on Spotify? Is it a certain song, or is it on YouTube? Which outlets are more um have more feedback or engagement?
Yeah, I'd say Instagram right now is like my number one. I've
Well,
hit like 15K, 16K on a couple of videos on there with no promo, no paid promo, nothing. Just simply just sending it out and showing people, an algorithm kind of picking it up. But
mhm.
the problem, like it's great, like to have that, and to have like following a little bit on Instagram, and I feel like that's super important. But it can be kind of like, when you start to like analyze it a little bit, you're like, okay, these are all people, like say 200 people view it, or I mean like it or like comment. Those are all people that are like my friends that I show support to,
Mhm.
and that's a super important base to have. But if not all those people commenting or liking or reposting your song, they're not all listening to it. They're showing you support because they like you, and you're their friend. They
Mhm.
fuck with you. So it's kind of like translating the Instagram views and all that to Spotify is really, like, it's really tricky. Like
Mhm.
trying to get put in playlists and stuff like that, get new people hearing your music is definitely like Instagram's cool for that, but as far as streaming, it's about getting them to hit that link and actually listen to the song. Like, ooh, okay, okay, let me put this in my
Mhm.
playlist and listen to it 10 times back.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean,
Which other social media accounts do you use? Like, do you use Facebook or TikTok or
I
YouTube?
got off Facebook because I kept getting into it with Trump supporters and stuff like that, getting in fights on there and stuff, and
Mhm.
you know, getting into trouble. Not, there's a few times for sure, like where they'd be on there, like in the Votto page and stuff like that, saying a bunch of like like racist shit or like or just like super like bigoted type of stuff. And again, I've always been super outspoken with politics and like activism and stuff because my parents were like that, you know. So um, I like to think they taught me right on that aspect. They care about people and like and and you know. So yeah, Facebook, I deleted my app because I was just getting into it too much. I ended up like going to a Trump rally. This was in 2020 in Nevada. They had their little overpass thing, and I ended up going with my ex and stuff, and they start saying a bunch of racist stuff to her, and then long story short, some dude puts hands on her. I grab the dude, and then they all jump me, and it's like 200 of these MAGA people on each side.
Crazy.
They jump me, put my hands behind my back, give me to the cops, and then they end up letting me go, but they charged me for battery, and I'm like, for what? Like the guy hit my girlfriend. What am I supposed to do? Like not defend her? So
Yeah.
just stuff like that. I could sit here and tell you the whole story in detail, but like going on Facebook and getting into it with Karens and stuff like that, it wasn't really doing me it was like good, like yeah, someone's speaking up, I'm speaking up, and I'm standing on something that I feel like is important to stand on. But if you're putting all your energy into something like that that's kind of negative, it's like it's a positive thing to speak against bad things, but when you're putting all your energy, you're on there on Facebook arguing with people, you're fucking yelling at Trump supporters on the street when you see them, like that's not. It's like the second I shifted my mind from that, because I was really big on activism, I was really organizing a lot of protests. I still feel strongly about all the things I speak on, but and someone, you know, people might be like, oh, that's a privileged take to be like, oh, I'm gonna step back from it and focus on my life. But it's like, man, when it starts getting you arrested and you start getting beat up and thrown in jail for trying to do the right thing, and then you got to realize like the police are not on my side when it comes to like these dudes flying thin blue line flags and stuff like that. Like so yeah, I feel like the second I started putting my energy into something positive, fully like being at the studio or making music, is when I started seeing little things in my life happen that were like similar to like getting beat up at the Trump rally, or like I caught this. I don't know if you've seen, but there was a in 2020 I caught some kid putting up swastika stickers that said "We are everywhere," like little Nazi stickers.
Oh really? Where, in Nevada?
In Fairfax.
Oh damn!
Out of all places in Fairfax, it's crazy, but that went hella viral, and so like just like that's cool, but it's like, yeah, I'm getting all these threats from Nazis. I'm like my mom's Jewish, but we're not like Zionists. We're for like free Palestine. You know what I mean? We're hippies. Like we are not about like the Zionist genocide crap. Like that's they're full of shit. That's not us. So it's just tricky. It puts I feel like when you like I said, lock into something negative like that, it's easy to get lost. And then when you put into positive all in, positive comes out, and you start seeing little things align, and you meet people that you never thought you were going to meet or work with. And so like stuff like that, like being at the studio, like, you know, working and being able to have the ability to cook up when I'm there, when I'm not doing sessions, and make my own music, that's like a blessing. Like I don't know where that came from, but something was looking out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, politics are a touchy subject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can cut that part out if you want.
No, it's okay. It's yeah, it's all good. Do you have TikTok?
Yeah, I try to keep up on it, but it's really hard keeping up on like if you on Instagram or if you on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. It's hard to like keep up on every little thing like that. So I'm just kind of really focused on Instagram and a little bit on TikTok here and there. Anything I post on Instagram, I'm posting on TikTok too, but I'm not hyper checking that. Like Instagram, I'm usually looking through my IG. So
yeah. So I mean, the reason I ask is because just like you said, you know, Instagram, I feel like, you know, it's just your friend group.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to get out of that bubble, right?
Right.
And then TikTok, I feel like, you know, if one of your videos goes viral, you know, like that could be like an outlet, or you could use that to your advantage, right?
It's a little more generous with the algorithm. The algorithm on TikTok is more generous, for sure.
Yeah. But it's just getting that, you know, viral video or whatever, to kind of
Yeah.
make that breakthrough and stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Just because Instagram is just your friends, and it's if you don't have if your followers don't share it, like I feel it's harder to like kind of get it more out there.
Fans are different than friends and,
Yeah.
and family and supporters that you
Yeah.
actually know in person.
Yeah, true.
So that's really what I'm building up, is trying to get more people that will like what I'm doing and trying to build an audience, because I think the style I got right now is super like diverse and different. So like
Mhm.
a lot of people can relate to the stuff I'm talking about. People can kind of like, you know, um, you don't have to be like any type of person to listen to this music. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
pretty universal. So
Yeah.
maybe that's why I have trouble maybe finding a specific audience, because I make so much different type of stuff. I could show you like 4 completely different style songs right now,
Mhm.
and you'd be like, damn, what the hell? Like, that's crazy. But I think just staying consistent with one sound right now is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, I did check your Spotify, and you have. That's why I asked you, like what kind of genre you fit in, because
Yeah.
I heard
A lot
couple
of different
different.
stuff
Yeah,
on there.
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's I think it's nice to have a diverse, or like a big catalog where you kind of do different types of genres, right? Like
Yeah.
not just stick to one. Um, so when you write, or do you write, or is it all improvised on the go?
So I have like, I think it's important as a songwriter to have like a few different tools, and as an engineer, this is like it's giving me like a whole bunch more tools, because I'm working with artists and I'm seeing what works and I'm seeing what doesn't work when people do certain things, or um so I feel like just having different tools and techniques for writing is really important. I tend to like punch in just bar per bar. I'll like sit there, I'll come up with a melody, and then I'll kind of you know what I mean? I'll try and come up with like a little melody that fits, or words that fit the melody I came up with, and then it's just bar per bar from there. And there's like different ways to do it. Sometimes I'll sit there and I'll listen to the beat and I'll write 4 bars, and then I'll stem off of that and I'll do punch-ins off that. Sometimes like I have some clients where they'll just do one reference take through the whole beat, like just just like no words, just a melody, or they'll maybe say a few words, and then what we'll do is we'll go bar per bar on that. So we'll listen to that first bar. All right, let's figure out what that melody kind of sounds like you saying, or like, you know what I mean? So like, just kind of building it piece by piece is super important. I feel like that's my strong suit, is just like attention to detail, and like making sure that every little bit, like I listen very closely. When I engineer, I'm not one of these guys that's like this, like on my phone, like I'm like this, like over the computer, like locked in. My back is hurting. Like my back hurts right now from doing it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. I think just having a bunch of techniques for songwriting is super important, because it's like you might get writer's block, and the way you work through, like the way you get through having writer's block is by working through it and having new ways to write. Or you go out and you experience something new. You don't just sit there. Like, I think that could be, maybe something I lack on, is like I'm in the studio so much that like it's like you start to run out of material, like life experiences and stuff like that. So like if I'm in there every day, and I don't, I'm not going out, I'm not meeting anybody, I'm not meeting no girls, nothing, like I'm sitting in the studio like a studio rat, you know what I mean? I'm like, that's all I'm doing. Is you start to be like, all right, I talked about this. That's crazy. I swear I didn't light up no weed in the bathroom. I swear to God, I didn't even hit the bait.
Well, that's gonna ruin